Today, I have a special guest, Bobby Lee, the co-founder of one of the biggest and I suppose the
earliest,
the first cryptocurrency exchange platform in China, BTCC, right?
That's right.
Bobby, hi.
Thank you for having me.
Very nice to meet you here, and thank you so much for coming.
Yes.
So, the first question that I want to ask you, when I saw a lot of interviews about you, I suppose that the Charlie Lee from the Litecoin is your brother, right?
Yes, that's right. Yes.
So, why are you not working with him?
Why am I not working with him?
Of course.
Well, so he started Litecoin. We both got into crypto in 2011. And
you both
yes,
went into the crypto in one time?
Well, we actually went into it professionally in 2013, but we first found out about Bitcoin in 2011. So he told me about Bitcoin in early 2011, and that's when I also started mining. So he was mining some Bitcoin using GPU cards, and that's when I started as well, summer of 2011. And then he went on to create Litecoin in the fall of 2011. So Litecoin wasn't that big for the first few years, but over the years it's become a driving force, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I'm having Litecoin in my portfolio, actually, a lot of Litecoins.
Oh, good.
Tell me, please. I have seen your cryptocurrency exchange platform for a long time, and just a few days ago I saw that you closed the DEX. Why?
So actually, the BTCC platform has been acquired. So I was a co-founder of BTC China. We started as BTC China. My two co-founders started the company in 2011, summer of 2011 in June. And then I joined as a third co-founder and became CEO. This is early 2013. So it was running as BTC China, and then 2 years later we rebranded as BTCC. So BTCC is the sort of international global brand name for it. And last year, as you know, we closed down BTC China in October. And after closing down BTC China, we then sold the company in early this year. Yeah. So in terms of DAX exchange, I don't know the latest, but I think I think it was closed down, right?
Will you make something like DEX on the BTCC platform just for changing the coins and altcoins?
Possibly. I can't reveal any future information for the company, but there's always a possibility.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Tell me, you're always saying that the Bitcoin will be about 50,000, 100,000, maybe even 150,000. Can you say me, how much should we wait till the Bitcoin will jump, for example, about $15,000?
So today it's already at 8,000, 9,000.
Yeah.
You're saying how long would it take to get to 15,000?
Yeah.
I really don't have an idea. My price targets, my sort of prediction is really for the long term. So things like after 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, even 20 years longer term. So for things that happen in the short term, a few months, a few weeks, or a few years, I think that's too speculative. So I can say for sure it will cross over back to the all-time high. I think it's close to 20,000 US dollars. I think for sure in the next few years it'll cross over that. But the question is, will it take just less than a year, or will it take many years? That I cannot tell you. But what I can tell you is 10 years, 20 years, this will be worth a lot more.
Okay. A lot of Bitcoin enthusiasts are saying that the Bitcoin doesn't need any regulation. How do you think Bitcoin needs regulation, and the crypto as a whole, it needs regulation or not?
So here's how I say it. There's two things going on. There's Bitcoin itself, and then there's companies that do Bitcoin and crypto. So my position is that, and it's my opinion and it's my educated opinion through all the experience of running a company and in China doing the exchange and all that, is that companies that do touch crypto and money needs to be regulated. Companies need to be regulated. And it's true with every other industry, just like restaurants, even supermarkets, coffee shops, every sort of industry, every sort of company has some form of regulation and rules about what they can do, what they should do, what they cannot do, what they should not do. So I think companies need some rules in terms of how they manage crypto, how they move crypto, how they hold crypto for customers, and so on and so forth. However, for Bitcoin itself, it's just a natural digital asset. So that it's not for the government to regulate perspective in the sense that people should have the freedom and the right to own it and trade it however they want. So that's my sort of dual answer for whether Bitcoin should be regulated.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
China banned Bitcoin again. Tell me, when China will ban Bitcoin again?
Well,
for what China does it? Because for me, it's very, when I'm seeing that the China bans Bitcoin again, the price is going up extremely, and then like they are telling that everything is okay, just be polite, everything's clear, everything's good, and price go down. Is it strange?
It's an interesting point you make. I don't think the price. I don't think there's a strong correlation with Bitcoin price and whether China bans it or not. I really don't think so. I think over the last 5-7 years, we've seen China come in and express either overtly or behind the scenes.
Banning Bitcoin more than 10 times.
Well, no. Well, that's probably the media perception. China has not officially ever banned Bitcoin. So in China, people are legally allowed to own Bitcoin. It's just that some of the transactional nature and some of the ways to buy and sell, those methods have been cut off. So in what I'm trying to say is that, for example, last year, 2017, all the exchanges in China closed down. We closed down ourselves. We closed down because we thought that was the right thing to do. So China never issued any sort of formal rule in the law that says a Bitcoin exchange is not allowed to run. What it does say is that there are laws requiring exchanges to have licenses. Since the Bitcoin exchanges in China at the time did not have any sort of exchange license, so by that definition, they were not allowed to be running, which is why all the exchanges closed down. So if you look at it strictly, China did not ban Bitcoin. It's just China probably reminded the companies that, hey, if you're in exchange, you better have an exchange license or else face the consequences. And at the time, all the exchanges closed down. Yeah. So if you ask me, technically, I don't think China has ever banned Bitcoin. But from the media perspective, people say, oh, China banned Bitcoin, like you said, 10 times. Probably I think of it as a few times, but you thought of it as 10 times.
Maybe even less. 10 times is a bit much.
Yeah.
Maybe about 7. I don't even remember. Sure. I have one question about your brother, about Charlie.
Yes.
Why did he sold all of his Litecoins?
Oh, that's a great question. Yeah, I'm sure he gets a question a lot, and I get questions about him selling his Litecoin.
It's very interesting because, I suppose if you created the Litecoin, so I'm sorry, you need to be totally in it.
Yeah.
I suppose that if you're a media person and you're the owner of this thing, I don't think that you will speculate on this thing.
Yeah. Let me speak to it this way. Here's how I explain it. So first of all, he never had that many Litecoins. So unlike so when Litecoin started mining in 2011, it was a fair, everybody got on the start line and anyone could mine.
How many Litecoins he had, for example?
I don't know. All I know is it's not anywhere near people think he has a lot. Unlike Satoshi Nakamoto in early 2009, when Satoshi was mining Bitcoin, probably 1 million, right? So that's what people think. Charlie, had much fewer Litecoin. Now the issue is for him selling it is he had some Litecoin, right? He didn't have a lot to move the market. Now what he really wanted to do was because Litecoin is his baby, he really wanted to push it forward. However, in pushing it forward, he's also a cheerleader for Litecoin. So we speak about the future, speak about the potential for Litecoin to be used as payments and all the great stuff that's coming in the pipeline for Litecoin. Now, the challenge for him, the trouble he had was some people would accuse him of making those statements as sort of pumping Litecoin, because Litecoin is his baby, it's his creation, and he was pumping it because people thought he had a lot of Litecoin, and it was self-serving to do that. So in that sense, I think he wanted to have a clear conscience, and he didn't want to own any Litecoin. in order to continue to service and push Litecoin forward. So because he had Litecoin and he wanted to be in a situation where he doesn't have any Litecoin, so he sold and gave away and donated his Litecoin, I think.
He sold his Litecoin when the Bitcoin was about 17,000 on a high. He knew that the Bitcoin will be high and then Bitcoin will drop down.
Are you asking me or are you telling me?
I'm asking, he knew that or not?
I don't think he knew it. I don't think you knew it. I don't think I knew it. If you think about it, when he sold Litecoin, when he claimed he sold Litecoin,
but the timing of selling is so good.
Is it?
Of course. What can I even think about that? Because like when he sold all of the Bitcoins, I remember the Bitcoin was about 15,000, 17,000, something like this.
But actually, technically, it came down. So early December, Bitcoin was actually close to 19,000, close to 20,000. So by the time he was selling, the market had already come down a lot. It had already come down 20%. So it's only in hindsight, after the fact, that the market came down even more, another 50%, that you now say it was good timing. So what I learned in life is that, you know, when you do something, at the moment you do it, you don't know if it's good timing or not. Whether you're buying a house, whether you're buying a stock, anytime you're buying it, you feel it's good timing because that's why you buy it. You think it's a low price. And likewise, when you're trying to sell something, whether it's a house, a car, or a stock, or even Bitcoin, Litecoin, you try to sell at a good price. But I don't think he was motivated to sell at a high price. That's my personal opinion. But I don't think he's made public statements about that either. Yeah.
Let's talk about the ICO. Previously, when we were talking about this with you, you told me that you don't know even any of projects from Russia and from Ukraine that goes on ICO.
Yeah.
Tell me, do you believe in ICO?
So I'll share something with you. Some people know this, probably not many people. I'm not a big fan of ICOs.
Why?
So ICOs, I think, are primarily, it's been very popular the last 2 years. And I've actually studied it quite a bit in terms of how to launch an ICO. At one point last year, BTCC, our company, we wanted to do an ICO for our Mobi wallet. And we talked to a lot of people, advisors, we talked to a lot of lawyers, bankers, and a lot of even shareholders and supporters. So after thinking about it a long time, we took a few weeks, a month or two to think about how to do it, white paper, is it a mined coin? Is it an on-chain thing? Or is it just a ERC20 token? What's the purpose of it? Is it a utility token or is it a equity token or some hybrid? So all these challenges, after a lot of consideration, at the time I wanted to do it, to launch an ICO for Mobi. However, after a lot of consideration, I've realized that the burden is too great, that it did not make sense. So at the cost of not raising, tens or even hundreds of millions of dollars, I decided to not do the ICO. And since then, I've taken a very hawkish or bearish view of ICOs. My main concern is that ICOs today are used as a tool just to bring money in for the company. And in most cases, it's using utility tokens, which in my opinion is not a fair way to compensate the people who are so-called investing the money in the company. So I was an entrepreneur. I started BTCC, and I know what it takes to be a CEO, to go fundraising. I also invest on the side. I'm an angel investor in some projects, so I know what it takes to be an investor. And to me, the ICO concept, where people buy and speculate on the utility token, the alignment is not there between the investors and the ICO buyers and the founders and the real owners, equity owners of the company. So for we could talk about more of that, but I think it's a very challenging thing.
Yeah. For you, crypto is it's an asset or a technology. It's a money. It's more money or more technology.
Well, let's say a few things. So I've known Bitcoin for 7 years now, since 2011. And I've come to the strong realization that Bitcoin is very revolutionary, that it is a digital asset. It's an asset. Money are subsets of assets. So if you think about asset and money, what's the difference? Asset is a broader class. It can encompass many things. Everything from real estate, stock, bonds, cars, and airplanes, as well as, crypto, and even other things like electronic point systems, like hotel reward points or airline mile reward points. So those are all assets. Even your watch that you're wearing, the shirt I'm wearing, those are all assets. Of those, and of course money as well. Now, of all the assets, one subcategory is money. Now, to be truly money, the asset has to be interchangeable, has to be easy, has to be easy to be broken down. So what they call fungible. So you could use it to transfer things easily. So for example, I can't use a house or an apartment to buy a car, and likewise, I cannot use a car to buy a cup of coffee. But with money, because it's large units and small units, you could use it to buy a house, to buy a car, or to buy coffee. So Bitcoin and crypto, Ethereum, Litecoin, and so on, are what I consider to be digital currency, digital money, but first and foremost, the digital asset. They have to have that store of value. They have to have that value. Whereas tokens, ICO tokens, that's not money. In my opinion, those are investments or speculative investments.
If we can name the Bitcoin as an asset of value, how do you think, how we can name Litecoin?
Another asset of value.
Also?
Yeah, absolutely. Just like you have different currency, the US dollar, the euro, the Ukrainian currency, the Russian ruble, yeah.
But for example, I suppose that with Litecoin, it's much more better to pay for something. It's much faster.
Sure.
Can we name it like digital currency?
They're both digital currency. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Just like gold and silver. Think about gold coin, a 1 ounce gold coin, and a 1 ounce silver coin. Which one's more useful to pay for something? Well, the silver, because it's worth less. It's if you look at society, human society all over the world, coining and paper currencies and coins, the gold coins are always more valuable, the silver coins are always less valuable. So if you look at the payments, what was done in real life in society, silver was used more often for everyday purchases and payments. But gold was used also frequently for large purchases. Yeah.
Have you ever been as an advisor on some of the projects that are doing the ICOs?
I don't do any advisory on any ICO projects.
At all?
I get the requests all the time. People send me LinkedIn requests, send me email, I just ignore them. Yeah.
How do you think in which markets, let's talk about the ICO. I know that you're not totally into it, but also
I can tell you're really into it.
you see, unfortunately, yes, because every time.
Why unfortunately? If you like it.
I like it, but I don't believe in the projects that are in the CIS countries, in Russia, in Ukraine, and I don't think that a lot of markets are need to have an ICO. And also, if you told me that you wanted to do an ICO for your Mobi wallet.
Yes.
I think that the financial companies don't need an ICO at all, because when they have investments back, and when they are having the some financial things that they are doing with the people, with the clients, and so on and so forth, they have a commission.
Yeah.
Anyway, they can make some kind of the closed ICO inside the company. If the company gets the commission from the clients, you can get the 0.5% of that commission to an ICO to tokenize it. You see?
Yeah. What about it? So
it works, I suppose. Only one ICO that I think it works very well. It's some kind of S&P 500, but in crypto, called Crypto 20. Yeah, it works. It's good. It's like index fund of 20 cryptocurrencies.
I don't know anything about it. I cannot comment.
Yeah, but actually, I suppose that it works. It's a good way to tokenize the financial business, the financial structure. Anyway, so you have never been as an advisor, right?
No, I advise people, I advise entrepreneurs, I advise companies, but I don't do any ICO advisory work. Correct.
It's very strange to hear that you're into the crypto for 7 years, but you're not into the ICO at all.
Well, if you learned what I've learned, then you realize.
Are you into Ethereum?
I think Ethereum. I hold Ethereum. Yeah.
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 What coins do you hold? And I don't.
Sure, I'm happy to share that. of all the coins, hundreds and thousands of coins out there, today I only hold 4 types of coins. I hold Bitcoin, I hold Bitcoin Cash, I hold Litecoin, I hold Ethereum.
You believe in Bitcoin Cash?
Absolutely, absolutely.
32 megabyte block, you think it works?
We'll see if it works. Yeah.
Okay, Bobby, thank you so much.
Okay, all right, thank you.
It was very nice and I'm glad to speak with you. Thank you.
Yes, very good.